Hello, hello. This is Cattleya iricolor. It is one of the unifoliate ones with starry-shaped flowers. And I got this, I think in the springtime as a near bloom seedling, so this is the first time it's blooming. And it also, maybe you can see, the colors are getting washed out and the petals are starting to dry up. And so it's not looking as great as it was, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't get a picture of it sooner. So anyway, this is it is a fragrant species. It doesn't smell good to me. I've read that it smells a bit like olives, and I did kind of detect a bit of that, but when the flowers opened and I was able to smell it, I thought I needed to clean out my drainage trays because it smelled like icky water to me. So I read that this is the most fragrant Cattleya on the planet, and so I really wanted one. Fortunately, it's not that strong for me. It could be the individual, it could be the fact that I don't have any UV light down here. And I was just going to come down here and put my UV lamp on it and see if the fragrance changed, but that's not going to happen because the flowers are done. But I did want to record this for the first time. The cultural conditions for this species I'm not quite clear on. It doesn't seem to really love being warm, like the warm hot. It doesn't like this conditions. I've read that there are two kinds from two different types of environments, so one would be cooler growing and the other warm growing. And so basically, I don't know how you tell the difference between the two types and what is supposed to want what. So I do think this might be a bit of a cooler growing one, though. It's not been an easy Cattleya for me to grow. It's a little tricky, and it really rots easily. I lost my first one due to, I don't know, the roots rotted and then the pseudobulbs rotted rapidly, and I cut off what I could, but it just didn't happen. And then the next one I got, I had it in a box, like an open box, not a closed box, at my aunt's house during the orchid show for like a day and a half. And when I got home, the aerial roots that had popped out of the side of the pot had shriveled up completely, collapsed, and it was starting to look like it was getting some rot in the pseudobulbs. So I unpotted it and found that there was a piece of it, I think there were actually two in the pot, and the piece that was rotting was a separate plant. So I took that out and tried to save it, couldn't save it, and potted this one up separately. So fortunately, it seems to be doing okay now, and I did get some blooms, so that's good, and the growth that bloomed is bigger than the rest, so that's good too. But the next one that came out is a little smaller, and it's just finishing up now as the blooming is happening. So but really beautiful species. I mean, I like the big floofy Cattleyas, but the color patterning on the lip I just think is beautiful, and I love the yellow, the straw yellow color. I don't know, it's hard to describe why you like something so much, but I think this is a beautiful one. And the flowers are maybe, well, let's see, they're not big, but they're not little either. They're alright. They're a few inches across. They were a little bit bigger. And the flower shape was nicer too before this, so they looked a little better than what they do now. But I'm going to cut these off and flatten them out and dry them and press them. I like to do that with my orchid flowers. So I don't know if you have any questions. I probably won't be able to answer them very well about how to grow this, but definitely do not want to overwater it, and needs good air circulation. Doesn't seem to need as high humidity as some other things, but you know, with a lot of orchids, the humidity is beneficial. But it does okay in my average humidity so far. So we'll see how this keeps going over time. It did have a growth there. That little growth just stopped at one point and never went any further. If that was one of the few that was starting to grow when I got it, but it didn't, and it started a new one. So, but if you do have any questions, I'll see what I can do to answer them, and might be able to point you to some good sources for information. But yeah, as far as I know, there's 2 different types of this species that like different conditions, and I think it might be a bit of a more intermediate to cool growing orchid. So yeah, I guess that's everything I wanted to say. Thank you for watching, and if you're a good grower and you've been growing for some years and you think you might be able to put up with a finicky thing, definitely try this species. It's really a nice one, and it's also got these nice vertical leaves, so it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. Has a nice compact growth. Pseudobulbs are close together, so it's not a big space hog, and you can fit one in. All right, thanks for